What's up, everybody, and welcome to the LittleBigKast, where four players search for that elusive game-life balance. On today's show, Rachel's not here because she goes on a walkabout.
Hello.
Drew finishes Peach's Thesis-Game.
Nailed it.
Robin goes Hulk style for the developer working conditions.
I'm always angry.
And Jeff hangs out with Mr. Skid McMarx. All this and more on episode 95, ladies and gentlemen, of the LittleBigKast. Welcome.
Sugar in your system and ideas. So
I'm just getting started on the sugar. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 95. My name is Jeff Hawks. With me, as always, Robin Hazett.
Hi, friends.
Our own doctor.
Welcome,
and
doctor.
Master Drew.
Hey, it's good to be here. I love to be a part of this because I'm the master.
Absolutely. So, every week we kind of jump into what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Okay.
As always, let's start with kind of a weekly roundup. What are you guys doing? Who wants to start?
Oh, I can start because I can tell you exactly what I've been doing for so long. Remember the last 3 or 4 or 5, 10 episodes I've been
17.
talking about the thesis, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wife's thesis. Not even my own project, but the wife's thesis. So I am pleased to announce at this very moment that she has successfully defended today.
Done.
Done. Which is kind of funny because it's like her big body of work that I'm really excited is over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get my wife back. It's pretty exciting.
No, it affects the entire family.
Right? It's everybody.
You get to
It's
start
just
being
our
family.
lives.
again.
Yeah, she's back. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I did get, let's see, what did I do? So what was fun this last week is that in kind of buying her enough time to be alone with her computer and the paper, I was able to take my girls to all kinds of fun things. So I just get them and take them out of the house, and we went to movies. Mascot Glenn took us to go see Jungle Book last night.
How was that?
That was fun. It was good. It was for a movie reviewer, which I'm not. It was a perfect mix of the classic stuff you love from the animated one, that's 40 years old,
Yeah.
and the new flavor of Disney movie. So it was solid. Enough of the old, enough of the new.
Good.
Perfect mix of talking animals and non-talking animals. I was really worried. I was like, what if they're all talking?
They're all
it's just
talking.
creepy and weird. But there was just this right mix of noise making and then actual interaction and communication, verbiage. Yeah, verbation. But it was perfect. So really enjoyed that. And then gaming-wise, I have been playing. I picked up a new game to play with Peach, and it was the Dragon Age Inquisition.
How are you liking it?
So far, so good. It feels a little more clunky than Witcher, in the gameplay and the way that you know.
It's much more
and the
heavily.
story is.
It's
It's more grindy, I think.
it's a much heavier RPG.
Yes. Yeah. it's thicker.
I would say that Witcher feels like an action RPG.
Yep.
It feels
Yeah,
way more
easily.
fluid.
Yep.
Dragon Age is definitely what skill tree are we going to go down?
Right. Yeah.
And-
Exactly. And I feel like what's nice about it, especially for where we've been with the thesis, is I could play for an hour or two, and then she could join me, and we could pursue more story.
Right.
Right. Because I could get into a place and be like, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to go do that little bit or find this.
Yeah,
person.
you can spend dozens of hours outside of the story,
Yep.
and whenever she's there, you can
And
progress.
go pursue the story. And
That's cool.
so far it's going good, and we enjoy story. So I know that we've done well when she'll say something like, kind of wondering if we can play a game tonight. If she's thinking, what's next in the story? So
Yeah.
that's been good. That's kind of what I've been up to, really. And then just about ready to finish the semester. That's
Oh my gosh,
this
yes.
close. This close.
So close.
So that's my life.
all of my Facebook, you know how you can go on this day?
Yeah.
All of my Facebook
From a year
on this
ago?
days have been I'm going to kill myself if I don't get through this final.
One more final. One more fight.
I had one about going to a graduation. I don't know if it was mine or the year before I graduated, but it was no, it was the year that so normally the communications department graduates with the,
In April's, we do our own college.
yeah.
Right.
And so it's the health and humanity. So why did I put, so I did one that was watching the microbiology graduates walk is like watching the Sorting Hat choose Slytherin. It's just miserable. I'm going to look it up real fast.
I don't know.
It's a better post than.
Everyone look at my total fire post.
So while you look that up, Robin, what have you been up to for a week?
For a week, Scott's back, so
Yay.
my life got infinitely better.
Yay.
Been playing not too much, actually.
Really? It must be
Doing-
end of semester
Yeah,
blues.
it is not into the semester blues. There's no blues going on.
You're ready for
It's the full inundation. Everyone's given their final projects, doing all of the.
Have you set aside some grading days? Like, this is where I have to catch up on grading?
Yeah. But I was very smart this semester because I've made the actual formal rubrics.
Oh, see?
So
Good
that's
call.
like making those things that was what I had been doing for such a long time.
The rubric, for those of you that are out there studenting still, like that's like your contract with the professor. They say you want to do X, Y, and Z, and I will give you a grade that matches.
Is your grammar a 1 through 5?
Yeah.
Is the content of this a 1 through 5?
That's ideal.
Yes. So that's been mostly my life.
No gaming? Not much?
Just a very small amount of gaming, just playing a little bit more of the Lara Croft, finding the extra little relics and things of that nature. Still hate Xbox.
But you're doing it.
Not working
Oh
for you.
man, I hate their interface. The only cool thing about it is that the trigger buttons vibrate when you're climbing up the wall.
That's your favorite part.
That's the only cool part about it. So there's my not so exciting world, and I'm okay with that.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right,
Did you find it?
I found it.
Okay.
Your fire post.
So I realized what it was. I was at my brother-in-law's graduation. It was the science graduation ceremony. So I said, being at the science graduation ceremony at Weber State University makes me feel like I'm watching The Sorting Hat at Hogwarts. I'm pretty sure zoology equals Slytherin.
Solid.
And
Solid.
it's true. I remember watching him graduate and be like, I'm not going to do this.
Yep.
Like I'm not going to
gonna
walk.
be the guy that
I'm not
walks.
going to walk. I'm just going to get my graduation crap and run. And then I don't remember. I think it was Lacey Moss.
Really?
I feel like it was Lacey Moss. It was like, don't you have anyone that's going to care if you don't walk? And I was like, my grandparents will care. Damn it. And then I walked because I
Then
felt
you've got to
guilty.
walk.
Yep.
Gosh,
It's what you
dang
do.
that,
Legit.
girl.
What you got to do.
So on my end, I got to play a little bit this week. Finally. So
After dealing with the house?
So Drew's been worrying about
These things.
the thesis things,
Thesis.
right? And I've been worrying about trying to get a house put together. So
These
we
are
bought a house a
adulting
little while. We
things.
closed
I
a
know.
couple weeks ago. Yeah, this is very life.
Yeah.
Man, the last like 2 months have been life
Game
heavy.
life
on
balance.
LittleBigKast. But I got to spend a little bit of time playing this week. So I ran the majority of the King's Fall raid with our normal crew.
Really?
We glitched out at Oryx, and I was like, we need to just quit now before people get angry, because like I haven't played Destiny in a month and a half, or maybe even longer than that.
Wow.
And I was like, if we keep grinding at this and smashing our heads at something that's glitching out, I'm just gonna quit, and I'm not gonna come back. So we need to end like while we're all calm and just zen and just be done with it for right now. We'll come back to it
Way to
later.
be
No
proactive
worries.
about that.
And so, because like I can feel like this frustration with Destiny growing in me, like.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give it a little bit of space, and so to compensate for that, I was like, I need something that just makes me feel like I'm having fun again in a game, right?
So you're
I
playing
picked up
Cycle.
Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, that's.
I picked up Ratchet and Clank,
it's so
and
good.
I started playing through. And
Is it as good
the
as, like,
idea originally
we all thought it
was
was gonna be great?
Yeah, so the idea originally was that I was going to play with my daughter, but I was like,
Right, right.
I remember the old games. And I just want to make sure, like, it's not too sarcastic or like too.
Right.
It's one of those
weird.
things like you don't. Are there
check.
things that you just
It's like a
don't want them
Shrek-
repeating?
It's like a Shrek cartoon, right? And so, like, there are things that if your kid were to say in public, you'd be a little bit weirded out about it.
Right.
they wouldn't know what the context.
So, like,
context was.
for example, one of the characters in Ratchet and Clank, he's a professional hoverboard racer, and his name is Skid McMarx.
Oh my gosh.
So he's like, Skid McMarx, you're the best, like you're the greatest ever. And he lives on like you find him on this world of tar, and you get like, so it's just this like tar baby planet, and his name's Skid McMarx.
Oh, that's
But like
fantastic.
dude, the game is just fun. Like it's a game that makes you feel like, I don't know, like how I felt playing games as a kid when I didn't have to worry about
Right.
crap.
Yeah.
Right.
But it has a fun
it doesn't
platforming.
take itself seriously at all. It doesn't like even the graphics, like from a graphic perspective, stunning, super beautiful graphics. But part of what makes them so stunning is that they weren't trying to make them real. Like
Yeah, like,
they
they were
allowed to
intentionally.
jump into cartoon.
Nice.
A lot in a very similar way to like the way that Ni no Kuni. Like Ni no Kuni was beautiful because it didn't try to be.
Right. It was simple and plain and
It didn't try to be like realistic. It
Right.
let itself be
style.
this stylized art, right? So Ratchet and Clank in a lot of ways feels like it's like this needs to feel animated. Like we want it to feel animated. We want it to feel more vibrant than real life should be, and bigger than real life should be. And it's fantastic. Like the jokes that are told throughout the game, the gameplay itself is like super tight, super good. I can't recommend it highly enough. It is a game that, like, for playing through with, and I will start a new playthrough with my daughter. Sorry, that was me.
Okay.
I'll start a new playthrough with my daughter because it is like age appropriate, probably for like even 4 and 5-year-olds.
This is good. This is good.
Because it's just this cute little wombat and his little robot running around smashing stuff, and when they kill him, they just turn into gears. So like you're not ever seeing any blood. You're not ever, but just
like hyperviolent.
Really, truthfully, like just a super fun game.
Yeah. So I forgot that I did do some other gaming. I downloaded the Battleborn beta and went to GameStop immediately and changed my pre-order to Uncharted 4 and No Man's Sky.
Oh, you played the open and backed out.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I'm gonna say I
as a
had
fan
the
of the what I just lost it. The Borderlands, right?
Yeah, because
I'm surprised.
It didn't have the same feel of it. I never
Not at
expected
all.
it. I didn't have any expectations for it to be another Borderlands, but I expected it to have some flavor, some kind of cheekiness
Was
to
there
it.
no cheeky? I mean, I only played a little bit.
It was
How many
clunky.
games- how many-
It was clunky.
how
It was
many rounds did you
confusing.
play?
I played 2.
I played 1 and I was like, I'm done.
I was like, oh, man, I should like this. Was why I kept playing. I'm like, oh, I should like this. I should, but
And
I
it
don't.
felt like
I don't
it took
know.
forever, right?
Yeah,
Did the
and
round feel like I'm like I don't even know what I'm doing, and this is
I was so
taking
confused.
forever.
And even when I was playing like the Destiny beta, I'm like, okay, I get where we're going. I know what we're doing with this, but it was just, it was very frustrating. I'm like, the art style is cool, but
Yeah, it was
I
pretty.
can't do it based on that.
I think
The
I
art style
played
is
the first 2 levels.
So No
You
Man's
did?
Sky,
Of
Uncharted
of
4,
Battleborn.
that's where my pre-order's
this
going.
most recent beta. Well, so what did you think?
I tried to listen. I remember it was a quick run, so probably maybe an hour and
Did
a
you
half,
play?
2 hours.
Did you play multiplayer or did you play
It was just
the
me,
campaign?
just campaign. Is that
What did you play?
Campaign.
See, I played multiplayer.
And we all kind of had the same walk away.
In my multiplayer, so I think the round was like 5 minutes, and it felt like 45 minutes.
It's
The
just like,
whole
please
time
make
I
it
was
stop.
It felt thick.
frustrating. So for me, like playing
Felt
through it,
big, yeah.
my thing is like, I love Gearbox.
Oh, I know.
Like,
What they've touched is
love
gold.
Gearbox, and Borderlands in particular was like such a breath of fresh air.
Oh, yeah.
Like within the gaming world, like it was funny and it was fun.
It was
and
Ratchet and Clank
exciting,
for
and you
gro-
wanted-
for
yes,
grown-ups.
grown-ups.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
right.
Yep.
Like an R-rated Ratchet and Clank
Yeah.
is essentially what it was, and I expected to feel like. I think what you said was probably the most apt. Is like you expected personality,
Yeah.
and I got
It was
zero
flat.
personality out of it. Like I felt like I was eating this meal with no salt,
flavor.
no flavor to it at all.
No flavor's no good. I got a little flavor. Like I was enjoying it, but I
like,
think
this
I was
is
probably
fun.
distracted when I was playing it, so I felt like, oh, well, there's a funny line. There's a funny line. But just story-wise, driving forward, I don't know that I felt.
I was not compelled.
Yeah, compelling. It was not compelling. It wasn't like, okay, this is the story I want. And maybe they have a better story when it's not like open beta. When you actually start a campaign,
I think if it's a beta, though,
but you
I
should
think
have your.
if it's
you
a
should have
beta,
your-
it's
You
got to
need
be
to-
the
you need to,
best.
like,
Like
yep,
Shine.
yep.
you wouldn't think that they would put anything forward in beta that they weren't like.
This is
Right.
going to be fantastic. This will
And we
convince
want everybody
people
to
to buy
talk about
this.
this, yeah. Because for me, like I was like, well,
I'm really
Gearbox.
surprised.
This will be the first Gearbox game in a long time that
I
I'm not
know.
interested in buying.
Yep.
I'm really surprised. That's a busy week.
That's a week.
That has been our lives.
Oh, I have one more.
Oh,
I
really?
played the Unravel. Have you seen that one?
I wanted to play that so bad.
Play the demo, and it was fun. And I was thinking, I'm not gonna pay $20 for it because the demo for me was like super simple and easy. It was like jump and throw the rope and climb
it's a
up. It was
puzzler.
cute and fun puzzler. Then I let the girls play.
Oh,
the
it's
demo,
over now.
And they played it like 2 or 3 times in a row. Like just kept going, and I was like, the fact that they can get it because just that.
Yeah.
It's not complex, but it's more than what they've been doing.
Right. Like,
I was like, okay.
It's like, oh, my baby's using some problem-solving skills.
Yeah, I'll give you. And it's fun as a dad to sit back and be like, "Do you see that trike? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to get over the fence?" And just walking through that. And yeah, so I'll probably buy it. I'll
Yeah.
probably get Unravel. And that's our week.
Absolutely.
Now for Dude's News.
Fantastic. News number one, defense of the poor working conditions. If you saw this article come up in the last couple of days, this was a really interesting article where game industry vet Alex St. John kind of gave everyone a piece of his mind, talking about game developers who express their concerns over these hard hours. And there's a lot of hard, long hours, but he did not take the popular spin on this, right? He kind of backed up this idea. Here's the quote. It says, St. John, who co-created DirectX for Microsoft, founded a game company called Wild Tangent, if that rings any bells. He wrote that making games is not a job, it's an art. And because of that ideology, he argues then, game developers should be worrying about whether their salaries are decent or their hours are standard. They should stop worrying. Sorry, they should stop worrying about that because it's an art. And after all, he says, all they're doing is pushing a mouse.
Okay.
Yeah,
so like my heart rate is like up here
Right, when you
because I
read
am
that?
so pissed off
There was
right
a
now.
lot of people pissed off because
Well,
that just sounds like denying anybody. Like what you do is not really that beneficial to society. You shouldn't be paid
Like,
that much.
There's only one point that I can agree with is that, making games is an art. But it is
Is
a
an art.
very, very difficult art form to do. There is so much going into that. There is so much brain power going into that. So saying that the crunch time is something that just, that's just how the industry is. We just have crunch time. Who decided we should have crunch time? The whole point is, this is where my research is, so I get really, really amped up about it, is when we started doing video game development, it was the people who were already hardcore
Right,
gamers,
right.
and they had very little else going on for them. Right now, the average span of time that someone can spend in the game industry is 3 to 5 years before the entire industry chews them up and spits
Right,
them out. And they can't do it anymore because of things like crunch, because of things like the compensation issues. And to say that, well, you're not really that important, you're just making an art form, it's like, no, this is a communicative medium that does a lot more than just like, oh, you're going to push buttons and entertain people. It says something. It's a value transmission. And so that's important. It's like being a journalist. It's like being a reporter. It's like doing anything that's going to be a communicative medium. And this level of abuse, basically, and him saying
right.
that it's okay. What the hell is wrong with this
At
guy?
some level, that same argument has happened in the journalism world for a while, and that is where they are. Like I trust
Journalism,
Right.
PR, marketing, design.
you were going to get chewed up and spit out.
Right.
You were going to work extra hours and work extra hard, and it's going to be really
And you
not worth your time for a long time.
You should be proud, and you should be
doing a
honored that
service.
you even have a job
See, and
right now.
So here's the one that pisses me off a lot is when they're like, listen, it's great for your portfolio.
Oh,
That's great for your portfolio. Like
Maybe in an
how many?
internship, but that's
so like
not
even
first
an
job, not
internship.
second job.
Internships piss me off too. Like internships that are
If
free.
they do that, yeah, it's
there
free,
are
right?
there
If
are
they
a
do that in
number of
versus
internships
free.
that are like, hey, this is an unpaid internship, but it's going to be great for your portfolio.
It's
I'm
called
like,
exploitation.
First of all, I'm a senior.
He's great at that.
Like, right? The majority of people that go through internships are seniors in
Yes.
school. They've already gone through their education. And for most of the companies that they're going into, they know more about marketing, about PR, about graphic
And the new
design
media stuff,
than
for sure.
anyone else that is in that company. And so to have someone come in and be like, we don't know how to do this job, so we're going to bring you in and you're going to work for free, but it's going to benefit you in your portfolio. It's like, dude,
if it's free,
I have families to feed. I have rent to pay. I have cars to pay. Like all of this crap, and that's the same attitude that this guy, to me, is putting out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like so, what's also funny is like, to say like, oh, we're artists. Like on a certain level, art is involved in video games, right? Like
Art's
there is
involved
an
in technically
artistic
everything.
Right,
level
storytelling, it's
involved in
engaging
what it
it,
is.
yeah.
But I'll bet 3/4 of the people that are working on video games are working on hair follicles and texturing
Yep.
grass and leaves and
Possibly.
texturing buttons on a suit. Like they're not involved in concept design, in like
Right.
early
This is
concept
true.
work where like really like creative art takes place. Most of it is, once the creative side's done, like once the actual like,
The
here's
concept
the
of
story we're
story,
telling,
right?
here
Here's
are the
art.
characters, build the world. Like you're
Yeah.
programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And so
it's
that
not
it
like
just-
it's just
pushing the
absurd.
mouse.
So like at the same time though, let's it's always good anytime we're all fired up about the same thing, it's good to have someone
You
play
gotta
devil's
see- you
advocate.
gotta
So
play
let's
advocate.
look at this, let's break
Okay.
this down as
What is
like
St.
let's
John
play devil's
thinking?
advocate. Why would he say that? So he is Does it say?
Well, when he worked for
St.
Microsoft
John
for a
did?
long time, right? Yeah,
he co-created DirectX.
for Microsoft, and
So-
did a lot of that. And he worked or founded Wild Tangent, which does a lot of the. They've done a lot of simple games. Is that they're not complex stick RPG type?
Casual.
Games. They're
Right.
doing casual gaming, right? Good word. Why would he say this?
I just can't understand
Is it
the
because
mentality.
he's paying the bills? Is that why? Is because
Maybe.
he's been part of the one that's been like, I'm shelling out
He's
the
the
dollars.
one that's been organizing teams and saying, you guys have a crunch date, get it done. So from
Maybe.
his perspective, but like you also have to take into consideration, like to say that it's not a job, like the games industry is a multi-billion dollar industry.
22.14.
Right? Call of Duty is the biggest entertainment franchise in the world. Bigger than Harry Potter.
Yep.
Bigger
Yeah.
than freaking Lord of the
Yep.
Rings. Bigger than Star Wars. Call of Duty is the biggest entertainment brand in the world.
That's pretty
So
big.
let's not pretend that building that doesn't require people working a job.
They're just pushing a mouse.
It's crazy.
just kidding.
Like that
Just
is
kidding.
Yeah,
super
anyone tells me
frustrating
that I'm
to
just pushing my mouse, like
Right.
I
If I
would
push it a
flip
good-
off everyone, but I know that we would have to edit it out of the
Right, so we
video.
don't wanna do that.
So
We don't
like
wanna do
I'm flipping him off in my mind.
Okay, that's a fire. In fact, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So if you want to hit us up at Twitter at LittleBigKast, tell us what you think about Alex St. John's thoughts on developers and,
Yeah.
And if it
And-
pisses you off,
yeah.
go ahead and tweet at him.
Yeah,
let him know.
and check out the
He's
response letter
gotten it.
from Rami Ismail.
yes,
That is so good because he takes that and like breaks it back down. It's like, okay, I can see where you're coming from with this, and then but you're not thinking
You're
about
missing
this.
Yep, that is. a
Oh
good
my
one.
gosh, I
That is
love
good.
Rami.
That'll be
He's
in our
so
show
good.
notes. That'll be in our show notes for the episode for sure. Let's go on news number 2. This was really interesting. Kind of took me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
GameStop, the place where you go to buy games sometimes. Although I haven't done that forever until this very week because I do digital stuff.
Yep.
They just announced that they're launching something called the GameTrust. U.S. retail giant GameStop's launched a publishing division called GameTrust. In total, the company intends to launch between 5 and 10 games every year. They've signed new games from well-known independent studios, including Ready at Dawn, the guys that did The Order, right? Tequila Works, Frozen Byte, and they also announced in March they're working with Insomniac, and a new game called the guys that did Ratchet and Clank.
Yep.
They're working on a new game called Song of the Deep, which
I'm
is
excited about
coming
Song
out
of the
this
Deep.
summer. So, kind of an interesting move for GameStop to get into the publishing division.
But they're saying that it's a one-off thing. Like, we're just going to play around with this. But it's interesting because I love to see that the publishing model is changing just a little bit and that this whole shift of power is going on. I think it's interesting that GameStop themselves are going into the publishing mix. But
Right, and what they've said, and I found this really interesting, this article, by the way, coming off of the MCV site, was that they are mimicking or kind of following the Netflix model. When
Yeah.
Netflix made this move where they're like, you know what, we're going to sign up some big directors, and we're going to publish our own things.
yeah, well, it makes perfect sense for them to do that. It has worked so well
Yes.
for Netflix.
And so they're kind of doing this
As well as Amazon.
parallel move, right? Just to be like, okay, well, in the gaming world, why don't we sign up some big devs and publish for them?
Yep.
I think comparing what they've done to Netflix is actually pretty apt. You think about how Netflix started, right? They were
Just we'll give
dispersing
you-
physical media,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
And then they were like, this isn't working. We're going all digital. And then from a digital standpoint, they were like, we can
content-
do it better.
yeah.
We can be creating better content. Like,
And
let's
And have more
create
freedom.
things.
More freedom, right?
Yeah.
Much more freedom.
Hoops to jump through because of the old Hollywood structure.
No FCC rules.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what I think is interesting is, and we've been saying this on the show for a while now, is like physical media at some point dies, right? Like that's the direction we're
Because
heading. in.
it's,
Yep.
it's
There's a
the
reason.
physical publishing
There's a reason
cost.
that nobody listening to this podcast went out last week and bought a CD.
Nobody bought a CD.
Right.
Is this true?
It's
Is that-
like
what?
I would bet. I'd bet money.
I have
that
not bought a
very
CD
few-
for probably 15 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Because how much easier is it to stream it? Like it's
Right.
just it's so much more convenient. Same reason that I don't buy physical media anymore. Like
Yeah.
my movies are digital.
Yeah.
I felt
My
weird
video
buying,
games
I-
are digital.
I bought Dragon Age on disc because I knew I didn't have any space on my machine
But
and I wanted to play.
Right.
But the problem is you
it.
put the disc in the machine and then it takes 30 freaking gigs
It
to
does. It still-
install.
it did still
Oh my
take a lot.
gosh, I'm dying. I'm having to like
true.
delete everything off of mine. Like for
Hey,
my
guess what?
for my birthday, I want a new
Yeah, on May 10th,
Yeah.
they have a terabyte Uncharted 4 coming out, like bundle, that you can get a terabyte sized PS4 with the Uncharted guy on it.
I want a new hard
Nathan
drive.
Drake's hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you need.
Yep.
So I think GameStop's really playing a smart. They're taking like what they're doing is they're pivoting
hope it works.
perfectly.
Yes, I hope it works for
They're
them.
pivoting
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yep.
Like they recognize that the physical media space is an archaic kind of platform to be within the video game world, and so because they have the platform behind them and the resources behind them that they can go and start working with some of these teams, I think it's going to breathe new life into their company, and I think you're going to see them start to turn it around.
Yeah.
Because they've been struggling for a while.
One of our chatters is kind of mentioning maybe their reasoning is not just that they want to be the developer or the publisher on the digital side, but our chatter Bruiser Bear 76 is saying possibly they're publishing these games and making sure the physical copies can only be picked up at a GameStop.
Yeah, because when I was in GameStop, they were talking like they were just smearing Song of the Deep. I was going to say Song of the Sea. Right. They were smearing it all over. And like playing all of the demos of it and posters.
Did the poster say like available only at GameStop or anything like that?
I didn't look at the verbiage.
That's the question.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if they did that. It would bother me.
Right.
It would bother me, but
I think they're smarter.
Understanding business.
They're smarter than that.
Like understanding business, like
they'll have an exclusive.
I could understand.
Yes.
That's what I think you'll see is a crap load of like, hey, if you buy it at GameStop,
you get these.
Here's this fat stack of exclusive content that you're going to get. But I don't think you're going to see GameStop say, this is exclusive only to GameStop, only physical. Because
you'll never be able to download it.
If they're a publisher, they make money on sales, period.
Yeah.
So any games that they sell, any copies, whether it's digital or physical, they're going to make money.
Very interested to watch this go down for sure. Another quick news as we push through the news that deals with GameStop is that they have arranged for themselves to be the place where you can demo PSVR, like before it comes out. So in June, you could walk into a GameStop, put on that fancy visor, and Morpheus, right?
Morpheus.
Yeah, and watch me walk into walls.
And watch me vomit. But that's exciting that they're going to have that in store. And that, again, that's bringing you into the store. And that's going to be, I'm excited for it, but we found out lots of specs about the new PS4. We found out this week that it's called
the
PS Neo. Which
it's Codenamed Neo.
It's Codename, right? But I hope it's still called the PS4K.
I love the PS4K. I think that would be such a good name. The actual thing, I'm not too thrilled about.
It's a very So they'd be crazy not to do PS4K.
It just seems so perfect, right?
Yeah.
It does.
Although it does kind of sound like NBA 14K. What is it?
Yeah, whatever it is.
It sounds like basketball.
Yeah.
That's true.
But that's news number 4 there is that we found out it's Codenamed Neo. That's kind of the new news for the week. But some of the specs that were leaked were still kind of part of that rumor mill because they haven't come out and been like, hey, it's coming. But
Sony needs to clear this up fast.
I think if it wasn't true, it would have already been cleared up.
Yeah.
But what
I think it's
the fear is that I guess the vision that we're seeing is people going, well, I just bought a $400 machine. I don't need to buy a whole, I'm not ready.
Right.
And Sony's game that they've got to play is, can we keep it from dividing the PlayStation team and developers, making them
complicating life for developers. Right? That'll be a big part.
Well, the developers are suffering like crazy. It's hard enough for them to get a game out in this amount of time,
right?
Because then all the specs change if you don't get the game out fast enough, and then you got to remake the game or you trash the game.
Yep. So so far, I think I've seen some of the developers saying, we get it, we know that we've got to do it, but our game can still run on both versions of the PS4, right? It can still work on both sides. We'll just have to release a patch as soon as we're able to give you the 4K flavor at some point. But for now, we know that's going to have more RAM, a little bit improved CPU and GPU, more memory bandwidth. And I think what's going to happen here is that the people that want the PS4K, I'm still calling it that. I don't care if it's Neo.
And I don't care.
The people that want that are the ones who have 4K TVs and the ones who want PSVR. Those are the ones that are going to...
Not it.
Those are the ones that are going to play long enough to grab it.
Yeah.
I believe our guest from last week, Spartan that was on, Ben from last week, I think picked up a 4K TV, and I was like, what? I didn't expect that to happen, to anybody I knew, and I've seen 4K. You and I walked through CES and watched all the 4K, and I was like,
we've seen 8K.
We've seen 8K. We've seen all kinds of things. I thought that's just not in my world to tell you about
what movies are even in 4K?
Right.
Are there movies in 4K that you can just get?
I don't think so.
And can you stream in 4K? How much bandwidth does it take to stream a 4K game?
You have to pay way more money for your Comcast crap or whatever.
It's a whole lot of nope for me.
A whole lot of nope. All right, I'm going to push the news, unless you guys have something to add about Neo.
Nope.
All right, I'm going to push the news. Here we go. I got 2 more quick ones. One, the PS Network is now thinking about doing, not thinking, but it's on the roadmap. They're going to be doing two-factor auth. Two-factor auth, which means that once I sign into something, and whether that's PlayStation Store or online to my account, it has to secondarily on a different device OK me. So to me, this is a hassle still,
but it's safety, right? This comes
I
after
understand.
their major, what was it, almost 4 years ago? They had a major attack,
Security
right?
breach,
Yeah.
Security breach. So now they're saying it's coming. We're going to do two-factor auth, which means anything your account is going to be so secure that every time you log in, you've got to thumbprint your phone or.
It only took them 4 years.
So it'll be annoying.
Two-factor auth is,
it'll
like,
be
pretty
annoying,
new.
but if
Safety.
it could shore up the PSN and make it so the PSN just works better
Yeah.
overall, I would rather it take an extra 30 seconds on a purchase than like shut the PSN down because
I
somebody
hope it's
got
not
in.
every time you log into your account. Like, can you turn it on and I'm on my account ready to go?
No,
I hope it is
there's
just
no way.
purchases, right?
If
So,
that
yeah,
if
they
that's
would
how
do
it
that.
goes, then we're gonna have issues.
Yeah,
That's
for
too
sure.
much authing. Somebody did that here on campus. That's a side story, but they were talking about how somebody like, have you got your two-factor auth? And I just went, is that coming? Because I use that login for campus all the time. If I two-factored that, I would just be mad.
It would go crazy.
So that's the different thing. Last news of the day, the Division, the guys over at Division had a couple of glitches, and so they are offering now Phoenix credits are going to be awarded to players who experienced those kind of game-breaking glitches over the weekend. Was it just this last week or so that they kind of experienced
It's
this?
been over like the last month.
Last month or so. So now
Yeah.
they're going to make good and give people some Phoenix credits, which I don't think I could buy a Dr. Pepper with that, but it's still credits, right?
Yeah.
It's points. What do you buy
Buy
with that?
weapons in the
weapons,
game.
weapons games.
The interesting
Weapons
thing that they're doing with it right now is they're also trying to find and punish the players who were
Right.
Oh,
working
wow.
the glitches and taking advantage of them.
How are they going to punish? Like legally or actually
No,
pull
just,
game toys?
like,
we'll take
punish
the
them
Phoenix
within the
They can
game.
block them. They
Yeah.
can block them from content in the game. I mean, what's interesting is like you buy the game, but because it's connected online, like you're not free to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And
Makes
so,
sense.
Color me not cool with that.
like my thing is if the game has a glitch and it's exploited, like it's your fault for creating a game with a
Yes,
glitch in it. Like,
and
you
that means
can't-
that you cater to really good gamers.
Right, you
Right.
can't be pissed at the gamers for finding the mistake. Like if I found something in Destiny that just gave me all the exotics, I would do it without feeling any
Right.
little bit of shame.
Right. But
So yeah, whatever.
we'll see what they do.
So give them the credits, ease up off the players who were exploiting it. It just means that they really know how to play games.
Right. Yep. And
Although if
fix
that was
it.
one of my kids, I'd be like,
And
you
fix
did
it.
what? In a game? Because then I'd question their ethics all over again. What did you do? Like one of my little girls. I'd be like,
Survival. Hello. Now I wouldn't
I'd be
question
like,
ethics.
really, I'd be like,
I'm so proud,
"Sweetheart,
baby.
you can't, just because it happened in a game and it's digital, there are real world consequences to your soul.
So normally Rachel takes over the new releases, but Robin, do you want to do it this week?
I would be happy to.
Let's jump into the new releases.
All right. New releases, lots and lots of PS4s going on.
This is a hard week to even be interested in like covering
Yeah.
it, to be honest.
Yep. So there's not a whole
Nothing
lot going on.
grabbing
Yeah.
Arcade game series for Dig Dug, Galaga, Miss Pac-Man, and Pac-Man. Then we have Blues and Bullets, Invisible Ink Console Edition. Koi, which is also 40% off for PlayStation Plus members.
Wait, does that like chasing fish?
Koi, I have no idea.
If it has anything to do with orange and white fish, I'm in.
Koi.
Yep.
Koi. Lichdom Battle Mage, Loud on Planet X, Masquerade, The Baubles of Doom. Oh, I love the word baubles. That's just
Baubles of
fun.
Doom?
Baubles.
That sounds like a scriptural reference.
It is
The
baubles.
baubles of doom and the
Oh, yes, the
trinkets.
trappings and the baubles.
Trappings.
Pang Adventures, Shantae, and The Pirate's Curse. That's a good one. And for Vita, we have Axiom Verge, which is a cross-buy for PS4. So basically, we have all PS4 games.
Lots. Ping Adventures, that one sounds like hunger. Like, I just
Yeah,
think of,
like a hunger
you're running
pang?
around like a hungry man. Like, I need food.
I'm hangry.
It's Ping Adventures. These are some good fun classics stuff there.
Yes.
Dig Dug is a solid. I used to have
And-
Dig Dug on not console, on a arcade box.
Yep.
I could play it on like the actual like big style, and I had to put it in storage, and then I had to give it back to the guy. But it was in my shop when I owned a little business.
And then Shantae.
But no, nothing I'm gonna grab right away this week.
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
not,
look at Koi.
I'm
though.
not too jazzed. I'm not
Yeah.
losing
But
my
with
mind.
Ratchet and Clank and what other games
We're
that came out
good.
last
There's been a
week? What was
bunch,
the big
yeah.
one? Sorry, I missed it.
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3. I watched people
You
stream that.
died.
I found some cool gamers. Shout out to Ginge Rage Gaming and Squiznos. I met them at the GameStop, local GameStop.
Oh, fun.
And I tuned in at the wrong time both times that they were playing because it was like, hey, they're live. I tuned in with my wife sitting next to me, and both of them were just the classic Twitch
setup, dropping the F-bomb way too often. I was just like, oh, sorry, I can't watch you right now because that's like,
Because it's not going to fly.
right, because I'm in mixed company. But it was pretty cool, and they were astounded that we were doing the show up at Weber State. They're like, I can't believe you guys are
Really?
like right next to me, and you have a Twitch show. And it was pretty cool. Shout out.
Heyo.
Anyway, this, ladies and gentlemen, has been episode 95 of the Little Big Cast. It felt weird. I almost said 94 again.
No,
95 of the Little
Up
Big
there.
Cast. Thank you for joining us. First of all, major shout out again to all of our Patreon supporters.
Yes.
We have
Love
some awesome
y'all.
Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the continued support.
Yep. If you want to throw something at us.
Yeah, if you would like to be one of our patrons, we'd love that. You can follow us at patreon.com/LittleBigKast. If you want to throw a couple bucks our way, that would be amazing. And you know what? If you don't want to do that and you just want to check in every week and listen,
still love you.
we're okay with that too. This, as I have already mentioned, was episode 95. My name is Jeff Hawks. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Hawks or on the PSN at MRHOX, Mr. Hawks. With me as always, Dr. Robin
Robin
Hazlett.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Robin Hazlett. It's a highly inventive name in the first place. And on PSN, I'm Lil352. So
And Mr. Drew Tyler.
You can find me, of course, on Night 20 at the Twitters and the Twitches, KNITE20.
Pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Very cool. This has been episode 95, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you later.
Night night.
Bye.
bye.